Alright, welcome to part 2 of my garage. The second half, most of this is going to be my JDM cars. I would call them all drift vehicles, but they're not really. And so we're going to start with the Anis. I think it's so funny. Anis Elegy RH8. But it's a GTR. So my GTR is hot pink, of course. We have the bumper with the slap sticker on the booty. I actually love that look. Apparently it has neon, I didn't know about that. I absolutely love the way these cars handle, and they're also free. I think you have to like join a gang or like sign up with Rockstar or something. But for being a free car, you can think of this as like a starter supercar for everybody. That's exactly what it is. Oh my god, it's been a minute since I've driven this thing. Pink in Japan is the color for power, I believe, which is why I have had it as pink. I really like the way the pink looks. I just think the car looks really nice. Let's see, what does the interior look like? Oh, wow. It's got like carbon fiber door cards, tiny cup holder, and then a very almost Supra-esque jet fighter kind of deal going on. Very nice. And we have the diffuser, of course. The blue eBay tips, but of course, carbon roof, it looks like. This thing is just a lot of fun. And it's wicked to drive. It's been a long time since I have driven this. But it's just like, it's incredibly agile, really. And like, since it's all-wheel drive and it feels like really, really grippy. So this car just sort of like, I don't know, this car pretty much does what you tell it to do. It's a really awesome driver in that way, where you can just really like rip around a corner, and if you need a little more, either gas it out or give it a little e-brake to kind of sharpen up that arc. But it's awesome. I don't know, it just does pretty much exactly what you want it to do. So, if you want to drive clean for hours, this is probably the car to do it. That being said, it also has all the power in the world to get there fast. And let's play with it, at the beach, shall we? So, driving on the beach is just like, you know, a really nice, peaceful thing that you can enjoy in your GTR, because it's got that all-wheel drive, so being able to grip around and slide around and like do donuts and have fun on the beach, you know, it's great. So I know I don't have this thing very upgraded, so I can already tell like there's kind of a weird balance. Like if you upgrade its handling and like some of the other stuff before the power, and you don't have that turbo upgrade, it's almost like the grippiness of this bogs it down in a way, because it's really delivering all of that. So without a ton of extra power, it's a little hard to mess around with. But yeah, this car is really fun. And good at many things. And, of course, it is an absolutely expert car for getting away from the police. This is all about handling. This is obviously an AE86. So it's the Karen Futo. I believe Karen in this game is Toyota. Karen, whatever. I don't know. But this thing is amazing. So the other thing that should be noted is Japanese for drifting or drift is Dorafuto. Futo, the word Futo derives from Dorafuto, which is drift in Japanese. So, guess what this thing's good at? This thing can get sideways at like 2 miles an hour. But yeah, we got the deleted grille, so we got the exposed intercooler, we got the wide body with the rocket bunny, we have the Bosozoku pipes blasting out the rear, we got the full-fledged spoiler. It's not my favorite spoiler styling wise, but I think it actually does help. It's as low as can go. It's got my personal livery. It's got the purple and the blues and the teals and the colors that I love so much, and pink wheels. I don't remember what these wheels are called. The Futo anytime I play GTA 5 is the #1 priority. If I don't have a Futo in my garage, I don't feel right. It's probably my favorite car to drive. It's got incredibly predictable handling, so even if you're trying to like fly across the map or whatever, you can probably figure out what it's gonna do. It's just a very typical like rear-wheel drive car, you know. So it handles the way that you think it might, but you can also drift it. And I know people do a lot of different drifting in this game. I try and use the e-brake only to like correct myself or give myself a really big edge, but in this thing I'm pretty much just trying to essentially power slide, or you know, push myself through it with power. And my favorite thing in this car is just to just to drift around and try and slowly destroy the body on it, just like anyone would in real life. It's just fun, man. Just this car is all about destroying tire, and it's never possible. But yeah, this car is all about that. Low speed, go around, hang out. This is like what my Miata in real life was kind of all about. Just like, it's just so fun to drive, and it's so pure. It's just a rear-wheel drive, low power, but you can do whatever you want with it. It'll kick out at 8 miles an hour, you know, if you do what you're supposed to do. This is by far my favorite car. I wanted to clip him off his bike. So yeah, the interior's got that kind of like bride pattern, just classic like 90s Japanese stuff. I mean, really like late 80s. Alright, so that is the car that I pretty much test the physics of the game with. Next. So this is a little weird for me. Now, the way this car looks, it's pretty interesting. I mean, if you know the car, you know the car, but this is a Mercedes. It's a benefactor Schwarzer in this. In reality, I believe it's a C63 is what it's called. Or at least I believe. It's kind of like that and a mix of a larger BMW coupe. That's unlike me because I really hate German cars. However, this is kind of a whole different classification. So this is rear-wheel drive. First of all, this is, I mean, it's really a good-looking car. Just kind of the way that I've done it. Just the red and black, slammed. It's got the wide body, no grill, exposed intercooler, and then like no ducktail. I think it just looks really sleek and mean. This is my high-end drift car, as badged on the side, if you can see it there. It is a V12. Basically, it's just got a ridiculous amount of power. And this car is, I don't know, it's just really fun to drive. And it handles really well. And it just oversteers really nicely. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a nice little car. And ever since my friend, he was kind of looking for cars that drift really well. And this is what he came up with, or at least one of them. I pretty much hate all German cars. I don't hate them, but I don't know, I think they're incredibly overpriced and not really particularly interesting looking. And I mean, this isn't particularly interesting looking, but it's got something going for it. I mean, it does look really good. And granted, it looks exactly like every other BMW like coupe that's on the road practically. I mean, huge doors. And the thing about it too is like it has the power to get out of like many situations, but it's also like kind of a longer body, you know, longer wheelbase, and I don't know, for like higher speed kind of stuff, it makes for more interesting sliding around. Now this is something I bought just the other day, and I think it was like a Twitch link thing, but it made it so that this car, and I'll go find it, was on sale like so. So this car was on sale, and it normally costs almost $1 million, and now it's $200K. So I absolutely had to snag me one, especially since it's just so cool. It's like a little Bluebird 510 or a Ford Escort. There's honestly a lot of old cars that sort of look like this, like even older Skylines look like this, even though I think they're a lot bigger. This is like a little teeny tiny car. But like it's a cross between like an old Skyline, a Bluebird 510. I'm actually looking at a Bluebird 510 right now on my wall, but it's like a coupe. But this thing turned out to be a little different than I thought it would be. Mainly because I can't really get it to slide around like a drift car would, or it's like wheelbase is too small. What I think of this is like a little track car, basically. And oh, this guy again. Oh my god, did you see that agility? And I don't know, it's really fun. Oh, and it sounds good too. It's got a very pronounced blow-off valve. Besides those couple of marks, I think this car is really sweet looking. I love the old school like retro racer kind of vibes of like these old classic cars. You know, they got like the filled-in bumper deletes. So on older 70s, 80s style cars, they would have these big, thick rubber bumper paddings, or like really ugly. A lot of people take them off and they leave holes like that on many different kinds of cars, all the way from Porsches to, I don't know, Japanese cars, everything. So it gives you options to like fill those holes in or leave them there. So that's a really cool detail. And I could go into talking about this car further, but really cool car, really awesome to modify, and really fun. And it's just like a little, I don't know, it's really fun to just tear around the street. It's like a little mini autocross car, basically, or at least that's how I'm going to drive it. And this thing is like super agile to the point where, I mean, if I wanted to slice and dice and get to nitty gritty on the streets, the police would never be able to capture me, man. Oh, or at least not in the city. Maybe on a... Okay, that wasn't a good example. Anyway, so this car really did end up being a lot different than I thought it would, but all for the best. All for the best. It could use a lot more power, and once I'm higher level and able to fully upgrade it, then we'll see, but obviously this thing is not super fast for now. Super agile. I mean, this thing can weave traffic all day. And last, but certainly not least, possibly my most desired dream car of all time, a Datsun 240Z, or whatever it's called in this game. Alright, so let's take a look around it. It's got this very beautiful interior. Oh, we got a sweet little... Yeah, we got the no bumper rear exhaust, so same thing, shaved rear bumper. You see this little black line, that's probably shavable. But it's kind of the same idea with the old cars and the old bumpers. And a lot of the times with those shaved bumpers and stuff, keep in mind, there were really big differences between Japanese and American safety laws. So it's not really like a full 240Z, I believe, in this game. It has details from other cars. For example, you see that square on the fender? That was originally on a Toyota 2000 GT. And this is my favorite color for them. I believe they released them in a similar orange, or at least an orange nonetheless. And I just think this body style and this car in general looks really great in the orange. I don't know, this is just, first of all, the way they design this car as it drives around and you're kind of sitting into it, like when you look at it sort of like that, it looks almost definitely like a 240, but from the rear it's almost like a more classic supercar, almost like a Ferrari. And it just, I don't know, it takes a lot of interesting traits from a lot of different vehicles, and all together it's just a really beautiful car. I mean, it's yeah, like even in this game, it's just like, it looks like a work of art, in my opinion. It's also really fast, it handles really well, and it does, you know, kind of handle the way that you expect like a sports car to handle, you know? Like, I can just rip out in traffic and kind of do what I want, and it's just a real joy of a car to drive. It really is. It looks really good, it's pretty dang fast, like, and when I'm talking about fast, there's kind of like a level of speed that I'm looking to, where like if I want to RP and like have a cool car during a mission or like a heist or something like that, maybe not a heist, but like during a mission or something else, like, it's fast enough to the point where it'll get me there in a reasonable amount of time. Or if I, like, want to go out and, like, seriously make money or do whatever, you know, it's a viable car for that. It sounds like a little inline six would sound like, an old kind of raspier sound. The handling and the power actually are sort of similar to a Coquette Classic, which is like the 63 Corvette that they have in this game, which I really want to buy. I just don't have enough. It's like $700,000 for it. Actually, I just noticed this is technically a Karen car, which is actually interesting because Karen is generally Toyota. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, that wraps up this side of my garage tour as well. So I hope you enjoy the tour of these 5 ladies. These are my pride and joys in this game. Definitely my favorite cars that I have experienced, or at least some of them. And just beautiful, awesome Japanese classics. And yeah, just some like legendary cars here basically. And so I hope you enjoyed me going around talking about these and checking out my cars with me. Let me know if there's any of these cars that you want to go through and look at the customizations of individually. I know these two and many others, you can do some really interesting and cool stuff customizing. So I might do a video where we go through and customize a car from scratch or whatever, but these are what I have done so far, and I'm going to try and get some more money in GTA5, and I don't know, I've just been playing a lot, and it's been fun. So, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. If you have something to say, leave a comment, or if you have something to ask. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later, gamers.